Hey guys, it's Tim and this is the PW Unlimited Wednesday show, episode number 72. And if you're looking at the screen right now, your eyes don't deceive you. Yes, it says with Tim and Nick because Nick's back. Nick, what's going on? How you
Hey, what's
been?
going on? Hey, what's going on, guys? I've been just doing a whole bunch of stuff as an exciting young 20-year-old man. I'm old now. I'm in my 20s. I can say that now.
I could say I'm in my 30s.
God, that's crazy. That is insane. Um, if my audio quality isn't tip top 100%, I do apologize. I'm using an iPhone 10 because my $2,000 computer decided it didn't want to work.
Yeah, in
Um,
the chat, if Nick sounds low, just let me know and I'll raise his volume up.
Yep, raise the roof, baby, and I love seeing the chat right now. They're going hard for my return. God, this is the first time I think I've ever done a podcast. No, I'd say the last time okay. I feel nervous, but I haven't felt this nervous since like that Mania podcast that we did.
Right.
Because I sat in that chair and it was like 8,000 people watching live. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That one set in really, really weird for me, but this one is setting in like, oh shit, like this used to be so common for me. Like I put my headphones on and turned my mixer on. I was like, this used to be something I did damn near every day, almost every week. So I'm definitely a little nervous, a little rusty. Um, Thank you everyone to saying welcome back. I'm reading all of it and feeling extremely happy and overwhelmed by it. But where have I been? I've just been working, man. I've been working at my regular retail job, which if you've never worked retail, I'm sorry, but also you're lucky. Retail sucks, but one thing about it is it's extremely demanding, and everyone's saying that it's hardcore buffering right now. Are we good, Tim?
Yes and no. This happened last Wednesday for some reason. YouTube wouldn't want to connect properly.
What the hell?
Like everything's perfect on my end.
That's so weird. Are we okay right now?
I mean, it's buffering pretty bad, but it's weird because the Monday and Tuesday show last week was fine, and then the Wednesday show was bad, and then
Shit.
yesterday's was fine. Okay, we're looking good now. Everything looks good in HD.
Okay, awesome. As long as everything's looking good, that's what matters to me. Um, Yeah, YouTube heard it was returning, and they didn't want to get flexed on that hard, so they just decided to crash our stream there. That's understandable. But I have just been, working my retail job, making some money, and honestly trying my best to kind of stay away from wrestling. I needed a refresher, and I needed to just walk away for a little bit. And what sucked was is I stopped watching wrestling, and so I was like, fuck, man, I'm kind of bored. And I remember I hopped into the fucking chat on here. Nice, my fucking Grubhub's here. Let's go, baby. um I got Burger King because I was a hungry boy, but
Yummy.
um I got in the chat here and I was like, wow, these, like, I miss these people. Like, these people were like my best friends that I like knew over the internet. It was awesome. And to now be back, I'm extremely happy. I'm I'm extremely happy. But we have a show to do.
I mean, I could say for a fact, every single week, when's Nick back? Where's Nick? We want Nick. We want Nick. Like every podcast, every live show.
I'm in high demand, baby. I
Excuse
was
me.
offered a few contracts from a few indie promotions, but I had to turn them down.
Gotcha.
That was the douchiest thing I've ever said. All right, we have a show to do.
All right, so I've got three things for sure I want to talk about. What do you want to start with? The shakeup, injuries, or the Sasha Banks issue? Uh-oh. I think we lost Nick. We're getting him back. And trying to get Nick back here. Nick,
Oops.
are you there?
Yeah, I locked my phone because I forgot.
Uh-oh.
All right,
We're
let's
good.
do it.
So I said, so what do you want to talk about first? The shakeup, Sasha Banks, or all these injuries?
Let's talk about Sasha first.
All right. So if anyone's unaware, Sasha Banks has been given some time off from the WWE. From what we know, over WrestleMania weekend, Sasha Banks and Bayley found out they were losing the women's tag team titles. Now, the legend goes that they thought they were going to hold the titles till at least June, have a lengthy run, and make the titles actually seem important with them going out there, defending them on all three brands, defending them all the time. And yes, they did show up in NXT. They did show up at an NXT house show, and they were on SmackDown once. But they really didn't do much outside of Monday Night Raw. Then when they heard they were losing the titles, I guess both Bayley and Sasha got really upset. So then the story goes that Mania comes, they do the four-way, they lose the titles, and they go in the back and they start throwing, I guess you could say, a fit. They didn't from what I heard, they sat on the floor or sat in the locker room and were making it known that they weren't happy. Making it known that they didn't want to be there at the moment. They didn't want to be dealing with WWE, and they wanted to just leave. Then apparently they went and did the same thing at their hotel. Now, also, there's part of this story which I don't really believe. It's that when they were told they were going to lose the titles, they were also told they're being split up in the brands, the Superstar Shakeup. But nobody really knew who was going where in the shakeup till this week. So I don't know how credible that part of the story is as far as them knowing that they were going to be broken up a whole week in advance. Now, the interesting thing here, a lot of people say, well, can't Sasha just get out of her contract? No. Sasha Banks can't just say, okay, I want to quit. It's not a normal job. Like Nick's got a normal job. If he wants to quit, he can just put his 2 weeks in notice and quit.
Exactly.
But with WWE, you're in a contract. And I did some looking. May 22nd, or right around last year, it was reported that Sasha Banks had signed a new contract. We don't know the details of that contract, but it's a WWE contract, so it's either a 3 or a 5-year deal. So, with Sasha Banks reportedly signing a new contract last May, that means that she's got at least 2 years on that contract before she can leave without getting a release. So it's just like, I don't know if they're going to grant her a release because she's somebody that anybody would want to sign, anybody would want to pick up.
Well, I think not only that, I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot if they released her. If they approved of that release, they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. And I kind of talked this on Twitter a little bit. You got a lot of people down and out in the women's division right now. And two of those, in my opinion, big factors would be Sasha and Nia. With Sasha, you get super reliable matches, and with Nia, you at least get something that is consistent at least. May not be the best, but it's something that you can rely on in a pinch. And losing those is just it's detrimental to the women's roster.
Right, and we'll talk about Nia here when we talk injuries because she's going to be out for at least the rest of the year.
That sucks. That really does suck.
I see a lot of people like, oh, Sasha should go to AEW. Sasha should leave and go to AEW. Maybe she should. But can she right now? No.
Nope.
Because the fact of she's got to get out of her contract. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, she can do what Neville did. She can. But we also don't know her financial status. Can she sit home Neville sat home for almost a year. Can she sit home for almost a year without getting a paycheck? We don't know if Neville's wife was making money on the side, if she had a normal job as well. Sasha's husband, I don't know if he does, and he does a lot of stuff with WWE. So if she's not around, he's not going to be around.
How crazy would it be if Sasha Banks is like, you know what, I'm just going to let my contract freeze then. And then all of a sudden I ordered Grubhub, and it's Sasha Banks delivering my Grubhub.
Oh, Lord.
I got to stop smoking so much weed.
But here's the other thing, too.
What is it?
If she goes and says, I'm going to sit home, WWE could technically say, okay, you sat home for 8 months, we could put 8 months onto your contract. It would look bad on them to do that, but legally they could.
I don't think they'd. I don't know.
I don't think they would.
Do you think they'd release her?
If they didn't release the Revival why do you think they would release Sasha?
I don't know. Something about the Revival situation always seems so fishy to me, though.
Because I know everyone's like, well, they released Ty Dillinger. But Ty Dillinger to them was never even supposed to make it to the main roster. They thought Dillinger was nothing more than a utility guy that they can use to get other people over. I mean, it's what Cassius Ohno does now in NXT. That was Ty Dillinger's role. Get beat by the new guy. Ty Dillinger got himself over, so they said, let's bring him to the main roster. We won't use him that well, but let's bring him up anyways. It's just service the fans in that way.
Mm.
And so it's like, okay, he got a release. Doesn't mean Sasha, Revival, they're going to get releases because they're seen as bigger stars. Now, I gotta deviate just for a second. Gabriel Perez, Luke Harper, and Alexander Wolf have not been given releases.
No.
Luke Harper asked for his release and went public about it. Alexander Wolf is being moved back down to NXT.
I'm good. I'm happy about that.
I think he should go to NXT UK and be a big star there.
He can be a big star in either. He's great.
Yeah.
He's got talent, dude.
So it's just the fact of Sasha's got at least 2 years left on her contract. WWE will probably make her. Now, here's the interesting thing, too, is guys like Meltzer, guys like John Pollock, guys like Sean Ross Sapp have all been told by people in the company that they hope she'll return in time for Money in the Bank. That's an interesting comment for them to make. Can't they just say, hey, you're booked for Money in the Bank, be there? That's the weird thing about this to me.
I don't like that. That's weird.
It is. And I know they said, okay, because when the story first came out, it was Sasha's been given a couple weeks of vacation to think about her decision. They hope she stays. So her and her husband, Kalisto and his wife, went to the Dominican Republic on vacation. So it's weird the verbiage that's being used in the way they're dealing with the Sasha thing. With the Revival thing, it was just, oh, you want to release? No. We'll give you the tag titles and bury you, but no, you're not leaving.
God, I feel so bad for those guys.
So it's like, and then everyone's like, oh, they're going to give Sasha the Money in the Bank briefcase to make her happy. For
God,
what?
no.
Her to be the first female to fail a cash-in?
No, that would be a waste. I don't know who should win that Money in the Bank, but it needs to be a legitimate, contender.
I mean, somebody's got to be the first female to fail.
Who was the first women Money in the Bank?
Carmella.
Who was the second?
Alexa Bliss.
Got it. Never mind. I don't know why I thought Carmella was the last one, and then I was going to say you can't have two stinkers in a row.
No. But, I mean, so it's just a very, very weird situation, the way they're handling it. Because it was like, with the Revival, they asked for their release, they got a no, and then they got a push. With Sasha, it's just weird that she made it. I don't even know if she actually said, can I have my release? That's one thing that hasn't even come out, is that she asked for her release. It was just the fact of she made it known she didn't want to be there. She told people, I ain't coming in on Monday. I ain't coming on the next Monday either. And they said, okay, take time off to think about your decision. So I don't know if they're just fearful that she's going to sit at home like Neville did, or if they don't want her to come. Here's the one thing I can think. Maybe they don't want her to come back and be just a sour sap and bring down the vibe of the locker room.
She's got... What I assume they'll do, if it's not anytime soon, is they're not going to write her off, but we'll just forget about her the way WWE makes us forget about people. And then it'll come out that she signed a new deal and she, surprise appearance on Raw. That's all that I can think of.
I mean, I don't know. It's just very weird.
This whole situation, and it's just, I don't like how many, there's a lot of, quote, reporters out there that just start pulling shit out of their ass
Oh,
when it comes to this whole Sasha thing.
I bitched about that last night, that people are making quote-unquote reports that say Sasha Banks update when it's literally the same update, just they worded it different.
Exactly.
Trust me, I went on for like 3 minutes on that last night.
It's this whole Sasha situation. I really hope it does smooth out with
Oh, yeah, same here.
Sasha getting what's best for her. That's what I hope.
I gotta say thank you to OKJ Games for the $1 super chat donation.
Hell yeah. What'd you call it?
$1
The what chat donation?
super chat.
Oh.
I'm still all stuffed up and congested from being sick all last
Yeah,
week.
what happened to you? Did you develop, like, the ligma?
I guess. I thought I had the Black Plague.
God damn, dude. You sound 30 years old younger.
No, I don't even know what happened. I was dying. But I'm not all good now, but I'm better. But yeah, that's the Sasha Banks situation. People keep asking what's going on with Sasha. That's all we know. That's all anybody knows. People try to keep elaborating on it, and there's really nothing to elaborate on. And like I said last night, you're going to see every day a new Sasha Banks story from somebody, and it's going to be the same thing you heard yesterday. But people are going to try and get their clicks and their views, and that's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
So
It sucks. It sucks.
let's take a call before we talk some of the superstar shakeup.
Woo! Let's take a call, baby. Let me get a French fry.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Caller, you're on the air.
What's up, bud?
Going once. Twice.
Sold to the highest bidder.
Nope.
Wonderful.
Nope. Did not go.
That's a good call.
Interesting. Okay. So if anybody else does want to call in, you can do so by calling 559-475-8473. The number
Tim, I got
is
a
in.
question.
Huh?
I got a question.
What's your question?
And it's just like we've been gone for so long, or I've been gone for so long. Is 8 o'clock always been the start time?
I bumped it up about a month ago.
Okay.
It was usually 9.
No shit, I did it for a year, dumbass. I know it was usually 9.
You the one that just asked.
Right. I was saying, when did it turn to 8, not what has it always been in the history of this channel?
Oh, well, my bad. Let's try to
Let's
take
talk a little bit of that.
Let's try to take another call really fast. See if I can get this to work.
Hell yeah.
It could have been on my end because Skype's, a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
Pretty good. Worked.
I just want to say, Nick, welcome back. I missed you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks, man. I missed you too, bro.
I missed you too, man. How's the Grubhub?
Oh, it was delicious. I just finished my burger, and I'm going to work on these fries now. What's your question, bud?
What do you think is next for Killian Dain since Sanity broke up? Because Eric Young is on Raw, and Alexander Wolf is going back down to NXT.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, and I appreciate the question, by the way. Thank you. I'm scared. I'm really worried about all of them, except for Nikki. Because Nikki Cross is needed for that women's division, but every one of those other guys are just mid-carders. And Eric Young is reliable. Alexander Wolf, I feel like, will succeed heavily down at NXT. But Killian Dain, it seems like he's going to flounder because they're just going to try to build him as a Braun Strowman, or they're going to stick him with fucking heavy machinery.
I don't know about that. I think, if they actually use him decent, I think he could be a really big star. I mean, he was great.
Which one, Killian Dain?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course.
I mean, he was great as Big Damo on the Indies, and I think if they need, because the only big guy, really legitimately, now that Joe's going to Raw, which I'll talk about in a minute why they didn't announce that, with Joe going to Raw, the only big guy on SmackDown really is Lars Sullivan, so you can have Killian Dain as that other big hoss guy on SmackDown.
Do you need to, though?
I mean, he's the different one though, because you got Killian.
So you got the heel and you got the face.
Right, that's what I was trying to get at. Plus, you've got him who's a little more agile. So he's like a different kind of big man because he's not just, I'm slow but powerful.
Yeah, that's that's true. And one thing that I think about as well is like they're going to need a backup for Lars. Because I don't know if this Lars stuff is going to work out, him on main. I don't know if it's going to work out.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, I don't know, man. Something about it just seems like crowd wasn't into it. He didn't really impress me all that much, me personally. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of Lars Sullivan on Monday and Tuesday? Because I thought it was real stinky. It really stunk up my television set.
I mean, I didn't think it stunk up the television set, but I get what you're saying, though.
I wonder if they're going to have him talk.
That'd be interesting because he's actually a really intelligent guy. And I wouldn't have him.
And I really don't want another Damian Sandow.
You know what? I get your analogy there from the way he talked in NXT.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Like the intellectual savior of the masses.
Yep.
Why the fuck do I remember that? I don't even remember what I ate for dinner last night, but I can just recite that. Something's wrong in my life to where I'm doing that.
All right.
Gabriel Perez says Dain and Sullivan SmackDown tag champs. No, and I wouldn't want that tag team for the same reason I really don't want, and this is going in a little bit to the shakeup, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I don't want that tag team.
It's like saying, oh, we're going to put Braun Strowman in a tag team. It worked, kind of, for the comedy thing at WrestleMania, but if he was in a legit tag team, no, that wouldn't work.
Uh-huh.
But
Chris Sanchez Lars needs to punt a baby at a wedding.
Oh, Lord.
He does look like Snitsky. Can we just repackage him as Snitsky?
Oh,
Can we
Lord.
just get him back? What if... I'm just trying to picture yesterday that tweet that WWE made that was like, Vince McMahon has the biggest acquisition in SmackDown Live history, and it's just Snitsky.
Oh, man.
I'd fucking love that. Holy shit. All right. We're talking a lot about the shakeup. Let's stop teasing it. Let's go full frontal. Let's talk about it.
All right, so Superstar Shakeup took place this week. We had, let me do the math again really fast because
you can do math.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 people, counting Samoa Joe, moved over to Monday Night Raw.
God damn. That's
Now,
a lot of people.
The reason we didn't get a Samoa Joe on Raw, because Samoa Joe was sick as a dog. Samoa Joe was apparently so sick he shouldn't have even traveled.
Oof.
He was written into the script. Everything was good for him to be on the show. And he was in the back and just no shape to go do anything. So they rewrote it. I don't know what his thing was supposed to be. I believe it could have been with Braun, since that's the direction they're going to go. Braun challenging for the U.S. title.
Yeah, which just seems so beneath Braun.
I don't know. I mean, for the way he's been used, I think that's an upgrade.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
So, we got...
Fuck you, Slam Hub Wrestling. Leave my mustache alone. I'm working on it, man.
So, I'll just read the names for Raw. So, we've got The Miz. And
Good.
The main reason I've heard The Miz is coming to Raw is to give him an extra night to plug Miz and Mrs. Now, here's my big question with this. If Miz is on Raw, that brings Miz TV. What does that do for a Moment of Bliss? You don't need two of them talk show segments on the same show. You think they finally cancel it, Moment of Bliss, or do they cancel Miz TV?
Moment of Bliss.
That's what I would think. So, we then got Cedric Alexander coming up from 205 Live, which we got two 205 Live stars moving over. One to SmackDown. We got Andrade and Zelina Vega. The interesting note with Andrade moving over, that pulls him away from his girlfriend, Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, who...
Ooh, speaking of wrestler relations, remind me to bring this up at the end of the show.
Okay. Now, an interesting thing about Andrade and Charlotte, I don't know this to be fact, but before Mania, Charlotte wasn't wearing much jewelry. After Mania, when she was posting a million selfies on their vacation in Mexico, she had some sort of a ring on her wedding finger, so I'll just leave it at that. We then got Rey Mysterio, moved over to Raw. It's official. Aleister Black and Ricochet are still on Raw and as a tag team. So that keeps...
That's weird.
Yeah. But that keeps Zelina Vega and Black together since they are married. They don't mind breaking up relationships that are just dating, but they're good about keeping married couples together. We then got the Usos moving over. And with the Usos, we also get Naomi, which I think Naomi needed a little bit of a fresh start anyways. She's done everything she could on SmackDown.
Yeah, she did. Her and AJ both did everything that they could have on the
Right.
brand.
And the Usos, technically. I mean, other than going singles. We got Eric Young, who wasn't even announced on the show other than there's a graphic. And hey, people noticed he was in the graphic. They didn't even say his name.
Yeah, poor dude. He got shafted.
He's gonna be the dark segment on Main Event. We got EC3 placed on Raw, killed by Braun. I feel bad for the guy. We got Lacey Evans placed on Raw. And of course the biggest move to Raw was AJ Styles. And yes, that was the biggest move if you look at it as an acquisition. But the most talked about move is the Viking Experience, the former War Raiders. So,
oh my God!
So they were the War Raiders.
His name.
So before they came to WWE, they were the War Machine. WWE didn't want to use the name War Machine for two reasons. I've heard that there was two reasons. A, because of Marvel and War Machine with Iron Man, which okay, they've got a copyright on it. You don't want them to say, hey, we have a copyright, let's do that. You don't want no hassle, okay? Also, there's a former MMA fighter that goes by the name War Machine that's in jail for beating up his girlfriend. You don't want the association. War Raiders, perfectly great name.
That's a great name.
They kept their regular names, Hanson and Rowe. They couldn't have been messed up. It's like when Bayley came to the main roster. You're like, Bayley on the main roster. You can't mess that up, but they did.
Yeah.
So now you bring in the Viking Experience.
You can't fuck that up.
Viking Experience. It sounds like some freaking stage show at Universal Studios. And
it's so bad.
It literally,
It's so bad.
The Viking Experience sounds like it would be Universal Studios counter to Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
It's so bad.
And that's not even the worst of it. I mean, that might be to some people, but the worst is that they changed their individual names as well. Hanson is now Ivar, and Rowe is Eric. Now think about this one. Rowe is Eric. Put that together. Eric Rowe, Eric Rowan. People have been making fun of that all week.
I never put two and two together, to be honest with you.
But who came with the name Ivar?
It sounds familiar.
What the frick's an Ivar? Anyways, so apparently, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider today, he actually reported that there was another name in contention, the Berserkers. Now, when you look up the actual meaning of the word a berserker, I'm going to pull it up. I know it, but I want to say it verbatim. Berserker meaning. This would have been perfect for them. A berserker is an ancient Norse warrior who fought with a wild frenzy. There you go. Berserkers.
There's so many better names than Viking Experience.
Like I said, Viking Experience is Universal Studios. I feel like it's like Like if Universal Studios wanted to make something that could compete with Pirates of the Caribbean, it's Vikings. They've got pirates, we've got Vikings, the Viking experience.
So bad.
Yeah, very bad. But out of everybody that went to Raw, who are you most excited for?
Everyone that went to Raw, who am I most excited for? Probably the Usos. I'm excited to see them mix it up down there.
Me too. I'm excited to see what they do with AJ and how far they'll actually push him on Raw. Because on SmackDown, he was the top guy. He had that title twice. He held it for a year straight. I don't see them doing that with him on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you would think that.
And when you think about it too, who would he feud with? Corbin?
Yeah.
Lashley? Because I think McIntyre's probably in line to feud with Seth.
Yeah, fuck, yeah.
Just thinking about all the names on Raw, I don't see many. And there's an issue like that with Roman a little bit as well as we move over to SmackDown. Now, also on this list I didn't mention, which kind of did mention, but add Samoa Joe. He will be moving over to Raw.
Yes.
But on SmackDown, with Joe going to Raw, that brings Finn to SmackDown. You also got Ember Moon on SmackDown, which is not a bad move. You've got Bayley on SmackDown, and she got booed when she came out on SmackDown. Now, I don't know if she got booed because the fans don't want to see her, or if she got booed because the fans really wanted to see Ember Moon and Becky, and she kind of interrupted. We then got, as Nick said, he doesn't like the move of Kairi Sane.
No, I just don't like her being in a tag team.
Now here's my question. What if it was her and Io Shirai and the Sky Pirates?
Right. I don't like it as they put her in tag team. It's like, look, they're both kind of similar races. Tag team.
Yeah,
just like
I get
Io
that.
Shirai girl. Like, it's Vince being like, they look the same. Fuck it, just throw them out there.
Right.
And it just sucks.
So then we learned that Lars Sullivan has officially been placed on SmackDown. Buddy Murphy has been placed on SmackDown, which is an interesting one. Even though, he's been the staple of 205 Live since he won that title at Super Showdown. So with Tony Nese holding that belt now on 205 Live, I wonder how well that show really does. But then we learned that Elias has moved over to SmackDown Live, and Elias was made to look like just a freaking main eventer with Vince McMahon out there saying that he's the biggest star to come to SmackDown.
Dude, he is a main eventer, in my opinion.
He's the new Drew McIntyre, chosen one by Vince.
Here's the thing. Could you get behind it?
Behind what?
Behind Elias being, top dog. Him being like, we're going to push this dude to the moon.
Oh, I could.
I could get behind. He's got the charisma. He's fine with wrestling. He can hold his own. And I think he's a great character.
Oh, for sure. Now here's my one.
Go ahead.
Here's my one issue with moving Elias. I thought Elias was perfect on Raw because Raw's the 3-hour show, and he's the perfect person when you map out the show, and you got a really hot segment, and then you've got to get a segment in, and then like the next match or something is going to just be a whatever match. You throw Elias right in the middle of that to kind of keep the crowd a little invested. You have that time on Raw because the show's so long to have that Elias segment that can keep the crowd. On SmackDown, it's like either Elias is going to get really cut down or he's going to be changed so much.
I don't think he'll get cut down.
I think his stuff will be shorter so it won't be as impactful. Because you got to remember, Raw's got the 3 hours where he can go out there for 8 to 10 minutes, no problem. On SmackDown, he may get cut to 5 or 6 minutes now.
I still think in 5 or 6 minutes he can capture everything he needs.
Hopefully.
And that's just me thinking. I'm trying to kind of think about his segments over on Raw.
Right.
And they take about 8 minutes. You can cut off part of that with the ladies and gentlemen Elias thing, and then
no. That's
need that, you think?
I think you need that. And I wonder how Greg Hamilton does that now. Does he try to do it very similar to the way Mike Roman and JoJo were doing it, or does he put his own spin on it?
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna put his own little stank on it.
And then the final name that was announced on SmackDown was Roman Reigns, the big dog, the main event.
The dog big.
He went out there. Superman punched Elias.
Balding.
Superman punched Vince McMahon, which I loved how they did it. Vince was perfectly placed for Elias to catch him, so he didn't have to take a bump, which was perfect. And they speared Elias. Got on the mic and said, "SmackDown's my yard now." So I find this one very interesting because it's like, I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to seeing Roman Reigns on Raw, but I almost, not a knock on SmackDown, but I almost feel like, I almost don't want to say it, but Roman's too big for Raw. Or for SmackDown.
Now, is he too big for a SmackDown that's on Fox Television? And I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call you from my actual computer now because it loaded.
Okay.
Cool.
Now,
so is he too big for a SmackDown on Raw?
On Fox? Now, I get Nick's question. I get that. But here's the thing with that. He says, is he too big for a SmackDown on Fox? Now, it depends. If SmackDown still feels like the exact same show it does now, yes. But if they add something to SmackDown, when they do move it over to Fox that makes it feel like a bigger show, then no. But if SmackDown still has the same feel, the same vibe, the same just everything, even on Fox, yes.
I like how you perfectly answered that question right as I got to the call. I give you props on that. That's impressive. So you really think he's too big for a SmackDown that's even on Fox that's reaching so many more eyes?
Like I said, if it still feels like the same show now, yes. If they do something to make it feel like a bigger show, like they add more production to it, if it just being on Fox and the way they have, like if the rumors of Fox wanting to feel like more of a sports aspect of a show, then no, he's not too big for that. But if the show still feels the same, where 85%, 90% of the guys feel like they would just be mid-card guys on Raw, then yes. Like, who would he mix it up with? Randy Orton?
Absolutely.
Who else?
Do Randy Orton again. Do 2 Randy Orton feuds.
I mean, he's never feuded with Randy Orton that I can think of outside of the Shield Evolution stuff. So that would be technically some new stuff.
I'm trying to think. I'm like drawing a blank on who's actually on SmackDown.
I'm pulling up the SmackDown roster now. I mean, he's going to feud with Elias, I think, going forward at first. That seems like a given.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because Elias, if they're going to push him as a big star, then you need to give him somebody big up against, even if Roman's just going to beat him. But looking at the SmackDown roster here, I mean, you've got singles guys. I mean, The New Day, Kofi Kingston. Excuse me. I said last night, I'm scared for Kofi. I'm scared that Roman can get that title too quickly.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
I never thought of that.
You didn't think about that. I mean, he could feud with Daniel Bryan, but we don't know what's going on with Daniel Bryan, which we'll talk about here soon when we talk injuries. Daniel Bryan's a big enough star that he can have good matches with. Ooh. If you want to go back to 2017, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
You think they do? Now here's the thing. You think they do Roman and Lars?
Well, I'm thinking it would have to be Randy, Lars, Brian, and Kofi. That's it.
And Owens is a baby face right now.
Here's what I'm trying to think of. Where is Ziggler?
They gave him time off to go do stand-up.
Damn.
Yeah.
He'd be a great addition to that SmackDown roster.
He would. Very
God,
great addition.
Such a needed position because that's like a guaranteed feud with anyone. Damn.
And like I said, I'm just looking at the SmackDown roster here. I mean, like I said, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens. But you got to think, he's going to always be the babyface. Vince ain't going to want to turn him heel. I saw everybody in the live chat last night was like, turn Roman heel. It's the perfect time. He's now on a new show. Fresh start. Vince ain't going to turn him heel, even if the crowd boos him.
You can't turn a dude that just had cancer and beat it.
Did you see his WWE? Did you see his WWE Chronicle special?
No, Tim. Do you really fucking think I saw the Roman Reigns WWE
Okay,
24?
I'm just asking.
Chronicle? You really think I fucking want?
Okay, because in part 2, he actually stated that he's taking a pill that is basically his leukemia, and he will be taking that for the rest of his life.
Hold on. Is it like?
It's called oral. Not his leukemia. I take that back. Leukemia is what he has.
Okay.
The pill is. The pill is his. Oh, why am I blanking? His Chad, help me out with this. His I'm dying here. Not his radiation, because he's not going through actual radiation. It's his. Oh my God, why am I blanking so bad? But you guys know what I mean. His therapy, his what he needs to do, to fight his leukemia. He stated that he's taking this medicine for the rest of his life. He's got to take the pill every day.
Man. That's a lot, man.
So
poor dude.
He's got to take this medicine every day of his life.
My heart goes out to him and his family. That's so much, man.
And so, I mean, with them doing this documentary about him, the first part of the documentary was just about him coming back. The second part of the documentary was his story being back and there we go, his oral chemo.
You forgot the word chemo?
I kept
That's
thinking...
That's like the word.
Because I was thinking radiation. So it's oral chemo.
I also love how delayed chat is to where everyone's just saying chemo now.
Now, here's the thing. If anybody watched that second part of the documentary, there's no way he's a baby or a heel ever. Because he said now he doesn't care about wins and losses, being the champion. He wants to be in WWE for that to be his platform to help bring awareness to people with leukemia, to help bring smiles to the children's faces. He says over everything he does now in WWE, his favorite thing is going and meeting these sick kids and telling them, you can get better. But he also did say that he feels a little bad to where he's got to go visit these kids that have been there for years in the hospital, and it only took him 4 months before he's back. Which, I mean, everybody takes to it differently.
Exactly. It sucks.
But he says that now that the kids can say, hey, you're not just a guy that I like on TV that's coming to say hi. You relate to me. And he feels like now that the people that he goes and visits knows that, it can mean more when he goes and visits them and stuff. So.
And I think that's great, man. I just think that's awesome.
So with all that, I don't think he's ever going to be a heel.
Yeah, it'd be hard to make him one, man.
But going forward, we got more names for the shakeup that were announced after SmackDown.
We do.
We got Liv Morgan. So Riot Squad looks to be no mo. I think what they should do, hopefully they don't mess her up too, but maybe put Sarah Logan with the Viking experience. I don't know what they would. Hopefully they don't change her name. What's up? Hold on. Because, I mean, she'd be fine with them, especially if they want to put Ruby by herself.
Yeah, I think she... Yeah, I think Ruby would be the only, safe one.
So, I mean, if they want to change her name, I'm looking at, like, female Viking names.
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta sneeze.
And some of these names are pretty interesting that I hope they don't change her name to, like, Alva, Astrid.
Just call her, like... So you get the 3 of them. One is a Viking, the other one's Experience. There you go. That's your tag team of the fucking future right there. That is your most over guys in NXT, the most agile big men you've ever seen turned into a fucking joke. Feel bad, man. I really do. I really, really do feel bad.
And then also
for War Raiders. I assume they don't want the word Raiders because of the NFL
I don't
trademark.
think that. I mean, they wouldn't have done it in NXT if that was a thing.
Well, NXT is also not on cable television.
Well,
They're probably more. They're probably
starting in
as
October, NXT will be talked about on Fox Sports 1 because WWE will have a recap show every Tuesday on Fox Sports 1 talking Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Oof, that's cool. I missed a lot while I was gone.
It's basically they had UFC tonight on Fox Sports 1, and when UFC left for ESPN, they wanted another show similar to it. WWE said, we'll give it to you. It's a studio show every Tuesday night, so I don't know where that leaves AEW's Tuesday Night Dynamite if they still want to go head-to-head with that. But it's a show where they're going to basically just recap what happened on Raw, what happened on SmackDown, what happens on NXT. And then anything over the weekend. And I guess they're going to put news stories in there. It's going to be interesting because I think it's going to be all produced by WWE outside of when UFC Tonight was done. I think that was all produced by Fox. So it'll be interesting. But we also got Mickie James on SmackDown Live. Did you hear what she wanted a T-shirt to say if she stayed on Raw?
No, what?
Monday Night MILF.
Oh, please. I'll fucking buy it right now.
She put it out there on Twitter. She was like, if I stay on Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, can I get a T-shirt that says the Monday Night MILF? She said it on Twitter.
I want it. I want it now.
We also got Apollo Crews moving over to SmackDown. That's a lateral move that no one's going to care about.
It's a lateral move that no one's going to care about, but I think it's going to work out well for Apollo.
Do ya? We thought he was going to do great things on Raw. I mean, there was hype behind his name when they announced him on Raw.
I really hope they do something right with him this time.
And then got Chad Gable moving back over to Raw, or to SmackDown. And honestly, I hope they don't just stick him in another tag team, because when he was on SmackDown the first time, he was American Alpha. They moved him over to Raw. He was a singles guy for like a month and a half, and then they put him in a tag team with Bobby Roode. So, and that's everybody that was announced. No, that was everybody that was announced after SmackDown on WWE.com. But then Heavy Machinery had to go into business for themselves and say, I think it was Tucker, say, hey, Otis, did you hear? We're on SmackDown. WWE didn't even have the gall to announce it themselves. Heavy Machinery had to announce, hey, by the way, we're going to be on SmackDown.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Chad Gable. I hope he's a singles guy on SmackDown. I hope he...
So do I. I think you should mix it up with Finn for the IC title.
Oh my God. I don't know if that should be the first feud because I want Gable to win that IC title. You know what? They could have a long feud like Andrade and Rey.
That went nowhere. It had no payoff.
It went nowhere, but again, both guys are on Raw.
Uh-oh. Welcome King Slender. He might be right. He says Gable and Benjamin.
Nah, I doubt it. Benjamin's on Raw.
No, he's not.
Wasn't he on Raw for a couple weeks with Heyman?
He showed up one night.
All right.
To
I guess I'm wrong.
Fight Seth Rollins. But
Gable to 205? Not yet.
No.
Not yet. You can do it.
You can, but
when it gets a little bit bigger.
Is it ever going to get bigger?
If they do it fucking right, and if that Fox Sports shit works out and they're talking about it, yes.
See, that's my other question. We don't know what's going to happen to 205 Live when they moved everything to Fridays.
205 Live will just be on Fridays.
Is it going to be? We don't know. They haven't stated that. Because
I'm just going to...
there is a rumor. You may not have heard this one. Adding a third hour to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
But not on Fox. The third hour would be on Fox Sports 1.
No.
It'd be tough to do, but...
I say no.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all.
You would have to, like, send it over to FS1 during a backstage promo.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it like, commercial break. By the way, we'll be on Fox Sports 1.
Because, I mean, a lot of people are used to watching, like, a pre-show on Fox Sports 1, like myself. I watch the NASCAR pre-show race on Fox Sports 1. That's an hour long. And then they say, okay, pre-show is over. Now for the race will start in 20 minutes. Head over to Fox. And so they do another little 20-minute pre-show on Fox, and then boom, the race starts. And they've done the same things with, like, UFC and stuff, where the pre-show for the UFC...
WWE all the time.
Huh?
WWE has their version of just, like, YouTube, and then send it over to the WWE Network.
Right, same thing. But the thing is, though, how would they do that, like you said, in the middle of a SmackDown?
Just like, you probably have a lower third.
Well, you'd probably either finish a big segment or finish a match right at the top of the hour, like say SmackDown was ending, and you'd hear Tom Phillips, all right, so that was a great match. For more SmackDown Live, head over to Fox Sports 1. And so, like you said, it'd probably have to go into, like, long entrances or something.
Yeah.
So that way people have time to jump over and they don't miss anything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But as far as, like I asked you, who are you most excited for on Raw, who are you the most excited for on SmackDown?
What am I most excited for on the SmackDown brand? I think potential-wise, I'm really excited for Gabe. Oh, good old Gable.
Me.
And I guess I wouldn't say I'm like happy or surprised. I'd say I am questioning Roman. And I'm
yeah.
What's the word for when you're not weary? You're
I
don't fucking know. I'm not.
You're
concerned, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Confused.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not too sure
right.
how that's gonna go.
You're kind of like gotta play it by ear to see how it's actually done.
Mm-hmm.
But that was everything that took place on the Superstar Shakeup. I did hear that maybe more names will be announced throughout the week. I don't think so. But that's what I think it was John Pollock of Post Wrestling did state, that there could be more names. And one last thing. I was listening to Fightful's Listing You Boy podcast, and Jimmy Van had a good suggestion. Since they can't ever think about anything good to do with Eric Young, why not team him up with Bobby Roode?
Nah.
It wouldn't be that bad. I mean,
but
frickin', what would you, Team Canada?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess so, maybe.
I mean, those guys literally known each other since the beginning of their careers almost.
I mean, it could work.
I mean, you just got to get something for Eric Young, because Eric Young's great. He's just been squandered.
That's very true. His debut against Joe in NXT wasn't that bad.
No, and his feud with Ty Dillinger was amazing.
So, there's something that I want to bring up before we wrap up here.
Well, we still got to talk injuries and Slam Hub. Yes, I heard that. I'm not talking about it.
Damn it! That's what I was going to talk about, you fuck.
Fine, then talk about it.
Fucking goddamn Rusev. That's it. That's all I want to say. That's it.
But
goddamn Rusev.
Was it really them? Because apparently her Snapchat was hacked, not her phone.
Listen, man. I don't give a shit who it might have been. If that was, I want to believe that was Rusev. Let's continue on before it gets a little
So,
PG-13.
wrap things up here. We'll take one call, and then we're going to do the final little deal here, which won't going to be too long. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Not much. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I have a question. I feel like that there's a superstar that should have got shaken up, but didn't. I feel like that was Baron Corbin.
I
What do you
agree.
think about that?
Yeah,
Because,
definitely.
because it's just more the fact that you can talk in kayfabe, you can talk out of kayfabe. Corbin ruined Raw it's not so much he ruined, it's just that he was just getting, like, annoying on Raw. Does that make sense?
Yes, and the interesting thing here, the funny thing actually. So we say he needs a fresh start. They did with him on Raw that they shouldn't have done with him. They tried to make him an authority figure. Now he keeps calling himself the former general manager, the former constable. But last year, we were saying the same thing on SmackDown. Baron Corbin's been used bad. He needs to move over to Raw for a fresh start. So it's just funny.
Yeah. I don't know. But as far as some other shakeups that happened this week, I feel like Aleister Black and Ricochet, I really do love them as a tag team, but I feel like it's time for them to go separate.
For sure.
Definitely.
But also my last thing is I want to give some credit to two people who I think are going to have amazing potential on Raw and SmackDown. That's Sami Zayn on Raw and Lars Sullivan. I feel like those two are going to kill it. Yeah, I just think they're doing so good.
We don't know if Sammy's officially on Raw. Him and Nikki Cross were never announced in the shakeup.
Really?
Right. So we don't know where Sammy's going to be. Sammy could end up on SmackDown. And Nikki Cross, there's rumors of her being Sister Abigail.
I think she should have been Sister Abigail 2 years ago when he had that thing with Ben.
Yeah.
But as far as staying to go to SmackDown, I think he should stay on Raw. I just feel like there's more time for him. It's the same thing, with Elias. I feel like there's more time for him on Raw too.
Right, but I mean, they do like to keep Sammy and Kevin on the same brand because if they ever need just a feud out of nowhere that'll be good, just throw them two together.
But I'm not sure if they're going to be together. I think they should be heels because I'm not sure. Because right now, Kevin Owens is definitely the biggest baby face in the world, which is kind of weird. But
he was. Well, are you basing that just off of last night?
Well, just past a month or so.
Well, I mean, he just came back from surgery, being out for 8 months. So most people get good reactions when they first return after being gone. But I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
Yep, you too.
All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about here before we wrap everything up is injuries. There's a number of WWE superstars dealing with multiple injuries, and some we don't know what the injury is. So we know that AJ Styles is dealing with a slight hip injury. We saw AJ on Raw. AJ looked really good on Raw. And apparently over the weekend, he was at some benefit for, I forget who it was, some indie guy or somebody that he's been associated with for a very long time in his career. And he was telling people, hey, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling good. I just needed a week to rehab myself. So that's good. But then we got Nia Jax. So Ryan Satin first broke the news that Nia Jax has ACL tears in both of her knees. That's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like you should have that there.
And when Ryan Satin first reported it, a lot of people were like, what, in both of your knees? And people didn't believe it, but then an hour after his report, Nia just said, yep, it's true. And WWE also said it's true. So she's hopefully, they hope she can be back in time for the Rumble, but that's like best case scenario. So Nia's going to be gone for probably a year.
Oh, yeah.
They hope Rumble, maybe in time for Mania, maybe after Mania. Then we got Big E. Big E is out with a meniscus tear of the knee. He had surgery today. I thought it was funny last night on SmackDown when they were doing the Kevin Owens or Big O initiation thing.
Big O. Fucking Big O.
So they're doing the initiation thing. They're saying, eat the pancakes. And Sheamus sends out a tweet and goes, man, I don't even think Big E's out of surgery yet. I was like, ooh, good one.
Do you think that's gonna lead? I don't mean to derail this conversation, but do you think that's gonna lead to I almost called them to Big Heel turning E to Big E turning heel?
I wouldn't do it because
Maybe have him and Kofi.
I wouldn't because honestly, I think all this is going to be is leading to Owens turning heel and him playing nice with the New Day until he's ready to turn and say, nope, Kofi, I want your belt.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense. But I really like the idea of it being Kofi and then Big E.
I mean, it'd be a great match, but it's just like
it just wouldn't work out.
Because then what would you do with Xavier? I mean, it'd be very interesting.
Here's the thing, because the story could be you have them two going at it, and at the same time,
Xavier doesn't want to pick sides.
Xavier doesn't want to pick sides, and then you have that moral conflict, and he can get evolved in a few matches, helping. 1 week help one side, 1 week accidentally maybe help the other side, like accidentally help both. So it's like, fuck.
But at the same time, it's like if Big E's the heel, then why would he want to help the heel? I'm just saying. But
well, no, it'd be like, yeah, I guess that's true. It could be like accidental ways,
right?
Like he meant to help. He meant to do something that fucked up the match, something like that.
I get what you're saying.
I feel like that would be a great story, especially for Kofi, because you can have that end with like, hey, we're brothers. Why don't you understand that? I have to beat you for you to realize that we're a family, and you can just have them join again. So it's like you can have it go for a while and damn near come full circle. But God, I am a creative genius for WWE when I'm stoned.
So going forward with these injuries, we also know that former NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley is dealing with an ankle injury. I think she tore a tendon in her ankle.
I love her. She's so good.
Daniel Bryan is dealing with an undisclosed injury that nobody wants to talk about. Only people that have to know what it is.
So it's his neck, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, his neck was never the issue. It was always his brain.
Yeah,
it was the concussions. Brain. And all we know is it's something coming out of WrestleMania. That's all we know. He was sent home. It's a mystery. Another one that's a mystery is Sheamus. Sheamus is also dealing with an undisclosed injury. Now I know a lot of people
that Stone Cold disease.
He's got that spinal stenosis, and a lot of people in the company were saying that they didn't even know if he would be healthy enough to make it to WrestleMania this year. So I don't know. You think Sheamus is 41? Many people don't realize how old he is. And apparently he's had these spine issues for a couple of years, wrestling very hard style, like taking all these kinds of bumps that someone that's perfectly healthy may not even want to take.
Exactly.
And so
he's going at such a fast pace too for his age. Man.
But
he's
also, we have seen with his YouTube channel, he's gotten himself in a lot better shape over the last 2 years.
He has. Him and Matt Hardy are two ripped, like two hot dudes.
When they were told you're on borrowed time, they were like, well, what do I got to do to get off of it? And they basically went and did what they had to do.
I give them props, man. Those two guys worked their ass off.
And so the Sheamus thing, he's got an injury, but we don't know exactly what the injury is yet. Hopefully we can find out, and hopefully it's something that's not serious. But that's why Cesaro was by himself last night on SmackDown. It wasn't, because everyone started speculating. Sheamus maybe to Raw. Breaking up the bar. Maybe Sheamus is going to retire. But it's more of Sheamus is hurt right now. We don't know exactly when he got hurt. We know he worked Raw and SmackDown last week. But I don't know if he worked the weekend. I'd have to look that up. But so I mean, there's not much more to say on the Sheamus thing other than he's hurt, and we have to hope that he stays or gets healthy again. But those are all the injuries that we do know of at the moment that are new, fresh injuries.
And, they got... WWE, it feels like we're almost going back to 2014 with that injury bug. But the injury bug was to a lot of main eventers back in... I think it was 2014. No.
15.
It was when Neville fucked up his ankle against Jericho.
It's like 14, 15 then.
I was a junior in high school.
You're in the right
I remember
ballpark.
Yeah. This time it's all like really solid mid-card dudes that like, oh, you're going to notice something hard after this.
Right.
Like you're going to notice how much of a slog a 3 fucking hour Monday Night Raw is when you don't have people like Nia to fill up that 10 minutes of like, I may not like the match, but I can fucking make fun of the wrestling, or I can make fun of some dick in the crowd. Like I can make a joke about Nia's fucking botching, but like that at least keeps a little attention to it. When you have like a fucking hand popping out of a box, which I'm assuming is Bray Wyatt.
It's not a hand, it's a buzzard.
Oh, fuck, I didn't even think of that. I thought it was just like a half-dead, I don't know why I wanted to call this... I wanted to call it Hector the Turkey, but it was Hector Guerrero that played the gobbledygooker,
Yes.
which sounds like a racist term.
But I know what
hate
you're getting by
it.
saying a hand popping out because it looks like a hand puppet.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
no, it's supposed to be a buzzard, and now they've got ventriloquist dolls supposed to represent Sister Abigail, who might be Nikki Cross. I don't know.
I saw the most fucked up tweet. Someone took that doll and was like, confirm page to Raw.
Yikes.
I fucking lost that shit.
But
Kyle, what do you mean smoking loud? Kyle, are you doing drugs? I hope you know that that's illegal. I hope you know that's a crime. Can we get the FBI on him?
uh-oh.
I want the FBI on that man.
But yeah, that was everything. The major stories coming out of this past week of pro wrestling. And looks like everybody in the chat really enjoyed you being back this week, Nick.
Hell yeah, I missed y'all.
Like I said,
Missed y'all so much.
I mean, since you were gone, first off, I still had people in the chat that thought I was you. And they were like, Nick, can I ask a question? And people in the chat would be like, Nick,
you should just started cussing.
No, people in the chat would go, at so-and-so, Nick's not here anymore. I'd had people call in and still call me Nick.
That's fucking amazing.
And I'd just be like, I'm Tim, what's up? Sometimes I just roll with it.
You should just be like, yep, that's me, baby. How you doing?
I mean, I'd roll with it sometimes, but...
I really did miss y'all. I mean that. It's like I love... One thing I love, and we're going to start wrapping up here, and I don't mean to like fucking jerk the fucking heartstrings, but I love making like dumb, funny content sometimes. And coming on this podcast was such a cool outlet for me to like get that shit out. Fuck yeah, Razorblade. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. It's cool to be back. I want to do so much cool stuff. I've been working on this Kofi video for a while that I keep mixing up the styles whenever I film, and it's a big thing. I have a whole bunch of cool stuff in mind. And I'm really excited for you guys to get to see it. And I'm really excited to start working on these projects and get some fucking shit done on this channel.
Now, one thing I got to say before, Julius Lopez in the chat keeps saying they split up Alexa Bliss and Buddy Murphy. They were never together anyways. He was on 205 Live. She was on Raw. So she was Mondays. He was Tuesdays. He wasn't traveling the weekend. And they don't care about people that aren't married. So
There you go.
engaged is engaged. To them, that's still dating. But that's going to do it for this episode of the PW Unlimited Wednesday Show, episode number 72. I was a little sad Nick missed episode 69 because I knew he had some jokes for that one properly.
I was fucking bummed, too. Wait, I haven't done the outro in a while. Can I do the outro?
Go for it.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the PW Unlimited Wednesday Show, now numbered number 72. I have been Nick. You can follow me on Twitter at ArmWeek21. Check out our good friends over at Fightful, Fightful.com, and their Twitter is at FightfulOnline. Tell Sean Ross Sapp he's a weak baby man for not wanting to fight me. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me almost everywhere at Timmy Buddy. I would say everywhere, but I'm a little hesitant to change my PlayStation ID because it can screw up some of your older games. So
Here's the thing. You better swipe it before one of these motherfuckers swipe it.
Oh, fuck. You shouldn't have said anything. Damn it.
Hurry up. Go.
I might have to do that tonight. Okay. So
Oh, God.
also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Oh, follow us on Twitter. And hold on. Wait, I remember this. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and right here on the YouTube. That's
But
where you can find it.
remember, if YouTube's messing up, if YouTube wants to be a little bitch and doesn't want to send you notifications, that's where you got to follow them social media channels.
And just follow me so I can fill the empty void in my heart with followers on a social media platform.
That works too.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much, folks. I'll see you.